Hello, math friends. Today we're going to go ahead and look at scientific notation. I love talking about scientific notation because it's like math and science all in one. It makes me feel like a math professor. So today we're going to concentrate on multiplying and dividing numbers that are in scientific notation. Now the cool thing is that this is really about being able to multiply or divide really, really big or really, really small numbers. But all of our properties of multiplication still apply. So if I have 3 and 25/100 times 10 to the 8th power times 1 and 2/10 times 10 to the 3rd power, I can use my commutative and associative properties to reorder and regroup my numbers. So I can change, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and move my 3 and 25/100. I'm going to change the order and multiply it by 1 and 2/10. And I'm going to group those together because those are my coefficients. And then I'm going to group my 10 to the 8th power times my 10 to the 3rd power because they have like bases. So that means that it's a really easy exponent problem. So now once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my trusty calculator. And I'm going to multiply my 3 and 25/100 times my 1 and 2/10. And that's going to give me 3 and 9/10 times, and now I'm going to go ahead and add my exponents. 8 plus 3 is 11, so I get 3 and 9/10 times 10 to the 11th. That one is super slick because this number is already with one digit in front of my decimal point, so I get it out in scientific notation in one quick swoop. Pretty awesome. Ah ha ha, makes me feel like a super good math and science lady. Here we go. Now looking at the next one, I'm again going to rearrange and put all my coefficients together. So my 4, my 2, and my 2.2, and then I'm going to group my exponents together with the same bases. Oh, super slick. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply those three. 4 times 2 times 2.2. I probably could do that in my head, but because I'm a little lazy sometimes, I'm going to go ahead and do 4 times 2 times 2.2. And that gives me 17 and 6/10 times, and now I just add my exponents over here. Now, the great thing here is if I stop and look quick, I have a 3 and a -3. 3 plus -3 I know gives me 0. 0 plus 8 is just 10 to the 8th power. That's all fine and good, except that if you look here, I have a 17 out in front of my decimal point. That's not going to work. I can only have one digit in front in scientific notation, so I'm actually going to have to pull it back and use 1 and 76/100 times. Now, if I just think about what happened here, if it was at 17, I would move it around the 6 and then add 7 zeros. This time, I have to move it around the 7 and the 6, and I still want my 7 zeros, so instead of 10 to the 8th power, I'm actually going to have 10 to the 9th, and now it's written nice and neat in scientific notation. Woo! Super good math and science all in one. All right, here we go. Let's try one where it's division. So if I have division, I'm going to go ahead, same idea. I'm going to divide my coefficients. So I'm going to do 3 and 26/100 divided by 1 and 25/100. And I get 2 and 608,000 times, and now I'm going to go ahead and use my properties of exponents, that when I have the same base and I'm dividing, I subtract the exponents. I'm going to stop, chop, chop, and I get -4 plus -8, which gives me 10 to the -12th. Again, I get it out into scientific notation right away, and it's perfect. Looks super awesome. Whoa, good math and science. All right, so where would I use something like this? I might use it when I'm doing a problem like this. The speed of light is 3 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. If the sun is 1.5 times 10 to the 11th meters from Earth, how many seconds does it take light to reach the Earth? Express your answer in scientific notation. Okay, so I know I have to travel 1 and 5/10 times 10 to the 11th. That's the distance I have to travel. And the rate that I'm traveling is 3 times 10 to the 8th. So there's my problem. I got to see how many times is this going to fit into this number up here. So real life application, I'm going to still use the same idea. I'm going to do 1 5/10 divided by 3, which I'm sure a lot of you already know what the answer to that one is, but just in case you don't, we're going to use our trusty calculator. It's going to give us our 5/10 times, and now again we're going to subtract our exponents, 11 minus 8. Which gives us times 10 to the third. Now this is pretty good, but not in scientific notation. For it to be in scientific notation, I'd have to do 5 instead. So here, in this case, I go around the 5 and add 2 zeros. This time, I don't have to go around the 5. I just want to be able to add my 2 zeros. So instead of 10 to the third, in this case, I'm going to have 10 to the second. So I get 5 times 10 to the second. And notice there's no decimal point on this one. It's sitting there, but since I don't have any significant digits after my 5, I don't need anything else. So that looks pretty good. There's my real life application. Science and math, all in one. Fantastic is what I say. Fantastic. Woo!